Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Tales of Berseria. Last time we went here and we're gonna try and fight a demon and take over the place and make it our hideout. And I don't have much for tabletop because we didn't run... Huh? Yeah, sure. So we didn't run. So like there's no like updates on Rise of the Rune Lords or anything else, but I do have something that I kind of would like to talk about. So, as you guys have noticed, I talk a lot about, like, you know, the characters I'm playing and shit like that. Now, to kind of answer, like, just a dopey question on, like, character creation for me. So, a lot of the characters you've heard have been female, mainly because they've been run a little bit more than, say, my Swashbuckler dude or Tor. Right now there's 3 women to 2 men because that's just how it went. So, Selena was picked female because, so here's what I do when I'm, when I'm creating a character and I have, you know, even male and female ratio going on at the time, or at least, you know, as of recent. I tend to flip a coin a few times, or use, like, a random picker, and actually it's like a random picker I use, and what I do is, I basically just go male or female, and then, like, heads or tails, depending on how it goes, or the male or female option, whichever one gets it 3 times is the one I pick. So when I ran Selena, I had like an idea of the personality, because a lot of times I'll have an idea of a class and a basic personality. And so what happened with Selena was I had a personality, had that all down pat, and then I ran the random picker thing with male and female on it. And so what was it? So male actually came up twice in a row, and then female came up twice in a row, and you can guess what the third one was. It was female, because that's what she ended up. I actually thought for a minute that was going to be male, because of female coming up so much. But, you know, that's not what happened. She ended up being a woman, and then her full backstory came later and all that shit. But, that's typically my approach when I'm creating characters, at least when it comes to their gender. It's very rare that a character comes with a gender packaged in already anymore, unless, like, you know, I had an idea in my head already for a gender for whatever reason. Melita was not originally gendered either. She had the same situation where I flipped a coin, or, well, did a random picker until I got her gender. I had the idea, I wanted the character to be a magical girl, or at least in personality. Have that kind of personality and way they would carry themselves and act. But, the gender was not chosen. So, and I had, like, a basic idea of the backstory, and I knew I wanted them to be a local. So, like, you know, the idea is they survived a chopper attack. But I didn't have their gender picked out, and so... Yeah, Melita would have been the same, character-wise, if she, if a male went out on the roll. Now, interesting fact, so Ryan, who, by the way, I was talking to him, so there was a chance for his character to either end up with mine or Florini, who was actually his actual husband. And, just through RP, it ended up being, Melita. And, so, what was it? Now, I was actually telling him about that, because I was like, yeah, there was a chance Melita could have been a guy. Now, I do the same thing with my characters. I'll pick a sexuality for them. Usually, it comes up as I play them more, where I have one. If Melita was a boy, he'd still try to protect him, but it wouldn't be a romantic relationship. He would probably be into Florini. Just like full stop.
Well then, let's move on.
Now, Melita... Yeah, it does.
It's emanating from all the big old demons roaming about.
That'll do it. But, so, yeah, she, so, yeah. So, that was kind of how that went. And, oh, yeah, in case you're wondering in terms of... We ended up talking about it because we realized that we were kind of both doing it. And I was actually the one who said, like, hey, I'm going to have my character do this now and say how she feels. And then we kind of just were like, yeah, let's roll with it. Because, hey, it was where the characters were going. At least, that's how I saw it. And apparently he did too. And, but yeah, she could have been a boy at one point in time. If you're curious about sexuality with my characters, like, going down my characters for a second, that I've played and play at the moment, Selena's straight, but she would never be in a relationship again after her husband died. She still loves him. Now, that's not to say, like, she herself as a character thinks that her husband wouldn't want her to be with somebody else or anything like that. Oh, she's actually pretty sure he would want her to, but she just doesn't see herself being able to do that. And, but yeah, that's her, her sexuality. Canarium, he was the summoner with squirrels. He was asexual. Let's see here. Melita's straight. Roxanne, my second paladin, was straight. Nathaniel, her adoptive father, was asexual. Brock is bisexual. He was the brawler I did. Meryl, I consider her asexual. I don't really see her getting into relationships. I consider her just like a romantic, sexual, like just a nothing. I'm just leaving this circle. I don't want anything to do with it. But, let me just walk out of here again. Can I swap him out? Let's bring her in. I think she might be more useful in this fight. Especially considering I fucked up my Devour. Okay, let me try to kill him. But, okay. Yeah, Meryl's asexual completely. Like, Nathaniel was... could be romantic with people because he had a wife, but he wasn't, sexual in nature at all. Can't exactly worship Saranre like that. But he was an Amadean paladin. So was his daughter. Now, Melita, my backup character for Melita, her sister, she's a lesbian, but I haven't played her, and that's about, so, you know, nothing really to go on that.
It's you again.
I'm so busy. I'm so busy I can't even notice what's going on around me.
You're not fooling anybody. Why bother?
I was hoping to not have to deal with yous guys. Whenever I run into yous, I always lose so much money.
Because Velvet always forces unreasonable demands on you?
Oh, Miss Exorcist, your concern warms my little turtle's heart.
I'm not forcing anything. I just think he's trying to take advantage of us by fixing his prices well above market rate.
Price fixing? As in deliberately marking up items so as to take advantage of the less fortunate? I was under the impression that the Abbey strictly forbade such unscrupulous business tactics.
Perish the thought, Miss. Our accounting is always above board. 25 hours a day, 8 days a week. No matter when's and no matter where's, you can get whatever you need for the same fair price.
That's good to hear. Eleanor, give the nice turtles that smile he so desires.
I'm sure running a business is hard work. Hang in there.
Good. Wait, what did he say? Crooks and nobles working together. But yeah, that's in terms of sexuality I've done. I haven't really done too many gay characters. Probably should, you know, run some more at some point. But I just haven't. Usually their sexuality comes out through role-playing, and I just kind of feel them out, and then it kind of works like that. I don't know, I'm weird. Let's buy them both. So we can upgrade. Who needs more armor? Eisen. Eisen needs armor. And let me take care of that. And also, in terms of, like, gender for characters, I don't really have a preference. Like I was saying, I kind of just flip a coin for a lot of times. A lot of times, concepts for a character do not have a gender attached to them. There's a one that does, but here's like a one that doesn't have one. I want to play a cleric at some point, and I have a personality idea for him or her. If I ever slip to him or her, just ignore that, because it's just easier sometimes to just say that. So the character idea is that they, let's see here, which one? Higher crit for Eisen. It reduces attack, but what he gains is better. Let's see. Something else I can give. Oh, that really tanks her armor. Okay. Let me see. Anything for Velvet? Oh, I should check their weapons, because they might have picked up some weapons. Are the reductions really bad? Versus the positives? It ups her healing. And she could use some more healing. Alright. No, drop too many things. How about you? Nah. Better weapon? Ooh, this ups things. Decreases her armor only a little bit. And it ups that by 1. And her crit by a lot. Okay, let's go with that. Cool. But yeah, so the character concept for the cleric is that they are actually a very violent person, but they try to, I'm gonna give them a god of peace or something funny like that, where they try to, they're trying to do away with the violent nature that they have, but, they have high intimidate, and when they're annoyed, they tend to crack a mace in their own hand. Kind of like a pissed off nun. And that's pretty much the character concept for them. But again, they don't have a gender attached to them or anything. Now there is one character type that not character type. Oh.
The way you were talking, it seemed like you had an idea of who was behind the riot. What happened here?
I think someone in your position would know.
There were reports of a large riot, but I was caught up in chasing you, so I heard little else.
It was a small affair, really. Velvet, Rokuro, and I were being held on this island. Velvet instigated the other prisoners to riot so that we could escape.
She used the prisoners?
Yeah. You'd expect different from me?
How did it end?
We didn't stay to see, but the prisoners were losing badly. Or at least, that's what it looked like. But if that was the case, then where did all the exorcists go?
I know Oscar left to report the incident, but the other guards should have remained at their posts.
Well, if they didn't flee, we have to assume they were all killed.
By this headless night, perhaps? Well, no sense losing our heads, I suppose. But it looks like we're in for a heck of a fight.
All we have to do is mop up anyone who's left.
Oh.
What was it called? Venomization, right? The dark ritual of making demons feed on each other to birth stronger ones.
Eisen, how many demons does the ritual require?
It's more a matter of quality than quantity. Stronger demons mean more powerful malevolence.
The ritual mixes the victor's malevolence with that of the devoured, creating a terrible, bloodthirsty monster. You see, the newfound power comes at a great cost. With it, the victor's last vestiges of self-control are stripped away.
So it's something even more than a monster. A seething ball of pure power and malevolence.
Roguro, don't tell me you're considering it for yourself.
Of course I am. I'll consider anything that can make me stronger.
You cannot be serious!
What's there to be so surprised about? Well, look at Velvet. She's already eaten countless demons.
You're ridiculous!
He's right. If it helps me find my vengeance, I don't care.
Velvet?
Wait, are you really going to do it?
Relax. It's not gonna happen. Becoming a monster wouldn't bother me. But when I defeat my rival, I have to be myself for it to mean anything. It's the same for Velvet.
It is?
Besides, if I kill a previous victor of the ritual, I'll have proved myself strong enough not to need the extra power.
You're ridiculous.
Yeah, yep, he is ridiculous. What was I saying? Oh, so there is one that is pre-packaged with a gender. There is a reason, though. So there's a type of swashbuckler that has a second... That basically has like the vigilante, has like a secret identity thing going on. So the idea for her was basically that she's a noble by day, or like a noble's daughter or something like that, and she kind of, like, either by night or just in general has a second personality, or not personality, alias that she puts on, where she acts as, like, this kind of, like, charming, masked fighter dude. And hides the gender because, you know, easier to hide who you are if you act as another gender. And that was pretty much the whole concept I had. In fact, before I knew the Camelot was 5e rather than Pathfinder, that was the concept of a character I was going to use. Oh god, my health is low as fuck. Maybe I can gather some health from eating these people. But, yeah, that was a character concept. I would like to try and run her at some point. And see how far I can run around with that character. It'd be pretty hard to do, because I'd be balancing 2 characters, and I'm sure I would be a fucking handful for a DM with it. But it's something I would like to try. But, yeah, we'll have to wait and see if I can get anywhere with that idea. Oh god. And now I'm just attacking things. Okay. I'm actually going to put Eleanor on my team, because I think she might be better for these situations. Or not the situation, the fights that I'm running into right now. God, that's a lot of purple.
Its guardian was...
But, yeah, that was, her idea. I would like to run her at some time, but, like I said, I think she'll be a handful for a DM. So it's one of those ones that I would have to pitch it to DM and see if they're okay with. I wouldn't want to just, like, throw a character concept at a DM without warning or anything like that, especially with something like that. That's pretty complicated. I mean, compared to, like, a normal character who's just, like, Joe McBig Sword, who fights with his big sword and hits people with the big sword. But, still, it's something that I'm interested in. I don't know what you guys think of that idea, but, I'm trying to think of another... So there's actually another thing I want to talk about. So I've actually started watching a lot of those, like, stories of people, like, talking about their experiences playing D&D and, like, Pathfinder and shit, and just, like, what they've done, what their party has gone through, all that sort of crap. Oh, I should have given him these ages ago. And, what was... So there was a video that came into my, recommended, because I watch a lot of these. For example, I watch Puffin Forest, I like Dingo Doodles, who does that, but she also does, like, you know, life story shit, too. She's really good, I like her stuff, and I like Puffin Forest. I like the Magic Spellbook, or the animated spellbook, not the Magic Spellbook. Derp. And, but yeah, I find them all fun to listen to, and, now there was one that came in my, recommended that I can't say that I'm fond of. I only watched a little bit before I clicked off. There were a couple of red flags early on, and then the last red flag I'll tell you guys about. So, the video had a Pepe in the thumbnail. That gave me a red flag, but there was a couple other memes in the thumbnail, so I thought, maybe it's not so bad. But the title was called How to Handle a DM. Or something like that. Okay, I'm gonna do this boss fight, then I'll explain the rest. After the cutscenes.
The Headless Knight!
He must be the product of the venomization.
Well, he definitely looks vicious enough.
Not as vicious as our Velvet, though.
I mean, that's true.
Where is his voice even coming from?
I don't want to look inside that. I just want to break it. At least we're doing a ton of damage to it, so... But I don't want to talk more about what I saw until after I'm done. Again, I don't look out... I know I said the name of the video, but do not search it out. Do not give it clicks. Do not comment on it. Don't give it any more, any more attention than what I'm already giving it. But, yeah, I'll go into it in a second. This guy's almost dead.
Well, takes care of that.
Yeah.
Oh, her old cell.
Something again.
More malevolence?
No, another Earth Pulse point. It must be on this island.
I sense it too. It's very close.
Directly underneath us, I would guess.
Okay, oh, wait, no, it's still cutscene time. Never mind, sorry.
What is this place?
Welcome to the most secure cell in the entire complex. The darkest hole in Titania. Feel anything, Laphicet?
Yeah, I think this is the Earth Pulse point.
If this cell is where the Earth Pulse point is, then does that mean it housed a Therian?
Yeah. And a real hungry one at that. Every day, they would toss demons into its cell. It would devour its fill, then wipe the blood from its lips. Never once realizing, it was delivering to Inominat the malevolence of hundreds of demons and prisoners. And then one day, there appeared before it a female Moloch, who shattered the barrier and freed the Therian from its cage. But the Therian knew no mercy, and it devoured its liberator. And it was then... It was then I obtained the power. The power to avenge my brother.
Velvet, you're a Therian?
This prison island was a feeding ground for the Therian, harnessing the malevolence created by the prisoners within.
But because Velvet escaped, the malevolence went out of control.
Wow, the same darn thing that happened back in Kamawana's village.
Lord Artorias would never have done such a thing.
No? What's so unbelievable? That he used his wife's brother as a human sacrifice? That he imprisoned his wife's sister? Because that's what your damned holy shepherd did! All to get his hands on Inominat's power!
I'm sure he had a reason for it.
A reason? To spare the world of its pain? Don't give me that! Who will spare my brother's pain? Who will soothe my brother's despair? He murdered my little brother Loppy! And you'll stand there and tell me it was for the greater good? At any rate, that's one less Therian for us to track down.
Velvet.
Help! Eleanor! Kamawana's
What? Did Velvet yell at you so hard you're starting to hear voices now?
I have a feeling something's wrong. Kamawana's could be in danger.
But we already beat the Headless Knight.
I still can't shake this feeling. Please, let's go back and check on them.
Paranoia, paranoia, everybody's... Okay, so while I run back, let me talk about the video real quick. So, like I mentioned, there was the Pepe thing, that was a red flag. Now, I didn't see the username until after I watched a couple seconds of it. Now, the story that was going on in the D&D, or I think it was D&D, I don't know. Doesn't really matter if it was D&D or Pathfinder or what. But, it was one of those kind of... Honestly, it's a played-out story, in my opinion. But, it's like, basically one of those, the humans are bad, the elves are good, sort of things. By the way, I find stories like that kind of boring. In fact, I kind of have this weird personal rule where I don't like making races evil of any kind. It's a personal, like, rule for me as a DM, where evil race is just kind of dumb to me. Unless you're talking about, yeah, like, I don't know, I'm kind of, that's just how I am, I guess, like, I'm perfectly okay if you want to play a good aligned orc, I don't care. Maybe I didn't read enough of the lore to understand, but I don't care. If I was your DM. But, shit.
Velvet is a Therian, is she? I knew there was something off about her.
But it's what she cried out that's really on my mind. Laffy said, is Velvet truly Lord Artorias' younger sister?
She never told me.
If it were true, I suppose it would explain her knowledge of Lord Artorias' training.
If you're so curious, why not ask her yourself? Hey, Velvet, what's your connection to Artorias?
Rokuro, have some tact!
I heard you whispering. It doesn't bother me. Artorias was married to my late sister, Celica. He was our brother-in-law. We lived together for more than 10 years.
That does explain a few things.
So he sacrificed his little brother and turned his sister into a Therian.
But you were his family.
To his view of the grand scheme, family is inconsequential. The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. All he did was act according to his ideal logic. Well, enough chit-chat. Let's get moving.
Okay. So, I'm gonna just come clean with that, where I find it generic. Now, that being said, in the video, like, he talked about that, and now the DM I know was female, because he mentioned it early on, and then he made kind of an extra point of it, and kind of, like, started, like, kind of mocking it in the video, and that's when I stopped. So, I decided to look in the comments to see what he did, where people were like, this player, the DM was no match for this player. So, apparently what he did was, so, what happened in the story was, like, the prince of, like, one of the princes of the humans and another, like, elf guy got together, and apparently he didn't like that there was a gay couple. Like, oh no, who cares? Okay, I'm not gonna get on my horse on that for just a second, because I need to wait until I'm done with the rest of this fucking bullshit. So, he, decided to then kill the prince, and, I don't mean to laugh, but it's just, like, it just got ridiculous, and just derail the entire campaign. Okay, now, why are you... Okay, shit.
Velvet is a Therian who consumes malevolence.
And too much malevolence is what changes people into demons. Strong enough malevolence can persist after the person who created it dies, turning their corpse or spirit into a raging monster. That's how undead and phantom demons come about.
Then the demons Velvet killed turned back into humans because she devoured their malevolence.
Yeah, and consequently, they avoided becoming undead or anything like that.
So she saved them. Well, I mean, a corpse is a corpse, of course, of course.
Do you think she could devour only the malevolence and turn a living demon human again?
Unfortunately, that's impossible due to malevolence's self-reinforcing nature. When Therians are connected to Inominat through an Earth Pulse point, they seem to be able to absorb small concentrations of malevolence from the surrounding area, and inhibit the creation of new demons. But any human who builds up enough malevolence to turn into a demon will keep producing malevolence as long as they live.
That's right. To devour any malevolence, I need to cut it off at the source. That's how my powers work.
Velvet, I'm sorry.
I don't mind it. Actually, I find it convenient. This way, I'll never forget my hatred for Artorias.
Plus, as long as you stay away from an Earth Pulse point, you get to keep the power of any malevolence you consume.
Fuel for my hatred, yes.
So, okay, so here's my thing. So, I don't mind, like, say if you get into, a tabletop game or a D&D, and you just find that you don't really like the story or what have you. Now, if that happens, here's my advice to you. Just leave. Because now every DM and every group is going to have their own dynamic, what they want to do for stories, and, that's just how it is. Like I said, that story is kind of, overdone, and I'm kind of tired of the, evil humans, the sacred elf thing. I find that story just kind of played out and boring. But, that being said, say I was in the situation where I ended up in that game, where I was in that person's place, and this was the story that they were doing. The star-crossed gay lover thing, I'm fine with that. That's perfectly fine. The elf-human thing is kind of blech. And that's where I kind of would have went, like, you know what, guys, this isn't for me. I think I'm gonna stop playing. And that would have been the end of it. Because that's all. That's all you need. You don't need to be a fucking little shit and ruin other people's fun. Don't do that, okay? Just... Now, my theory is this guy is probably someone's been thrown out of a number of games. And what happens is when he doesn't like what's going on or something like that, he throws a temper tantrum, tries to derail the entire campaign until the DM kicks him out. And then it's like, haha, I win. I mean, okay, but you're a douche. So he probably doesn't get to play too often, so he just throws his little temper tantrums and does what he can to try and find some fun out of being a dickweed. But yeah, don't do that, guys. If you're running a game or you're in a game and you just don't like what's going on, don't ruin everybody's fun. I had a DM who got kind of annoyed. This is like an old DM. He wanted to run the game like Dark Souls and was actually frustrated that players weren't dying and that people weren't being super serious. And here's the thing, every group's going to be different with how they play. Whale Duck, who watches this, he's very different. They have death pretty oh, shit.
Eleanor! You really came back for me.
A promise is a promise, sweetheart.
A headless knight and a horse demon.
It's giving off a ton of malevolence.
This must be the true survivor of the venomization process.
Oh, I get it! The dying exorcist lady wasn't saying Headless Knight is back. She was going for Headless Knight on horseback.
Whatever the case, we'll fight whoever we have to claim this island.
So, okay. But yeah, Whale Duck has his group is very different from mine. Not to say that death doesn't happen, because like I've mentioned in like one of the old videos, Wesh died. Death can happen. Though I'm not, and like they have more things where they like to punish death. Though personally, I'm kind of against punishing death, because already losing a character that you are beloved, that you like, so I'm fine with giving people extra cash from the creation chart, personally. Now, this is just my own personal take on it. And everyone's got their own interpretations and what they go for rules and house rules, and that's perfectly fine. Just don't be a dick to the group. That's really all. And if you're not in a group if the group you're in isn't one that works for you, that's perfectly okay. You can just leave that group. Find another one. And if you can't, well, don't ruin it for other people. Don't be a shitlord. That's all I ask of you. Don't be a shitlord, you fucking ingrate. Ooh. How beat up is this guy? Okay, good. We've got a good bit of damage on him. We're at another phase. I'm gonna see if I can wrap around to his... Oh, shit. He moved. Okay, cool. Now I can hit him. But yeah, that's really it. I just really didn't like when I saw that and people were like parading it. They have to be some of the most annoying people to probably play with on tabletop. People that would just want to ruin other people's fun. I don't know. Especially when you're in a group, you gotta remember, like, for example, like when you play these games, it's not just about you. There's other characters, other players, there's the DM. Don't be a shit, okay? That's really it. It's fun to have your characters bounce. It's fine, like, having your characters, like, bounce off of what other characters are doing, or react, or, you know, anything like that. That's perfectly fine. In fact, that's what you should do with your character. Now, depending on DM, your character will have their story bits, your friends will have theirs, and, you know, that's... God damn it. Can I keep this for more than 2 seconds? But, yeah, that's it. I'm done ranting. And getting... Fucking really? I would like to attack more than one at a time. Cool. And let me see if I can get a lot of damage in. Oh, I didn't get the stun. He's gonna die. Devour time! Like, yeah, I'm done ranting. If you think that's acceptable to do, seriously, fuck off. Like, fuck off right now. Stop watching this video. I'm done with you.
That's
Jesus.
organization, all right. Definitely stronger than that headless lump of armor.
I beg your pardon?
Not you.
The demon from the villa?
No, look! It's absorbing the malevolence. It's a Therian.
Actually, that hawk is Griffin, my one and only friend.
A damned Therian. So that's what Tabitha meant when she said we'd find out shortly.
But Your Highness, why do you have a Therian?
It's like I said, Griffin has been my dear friend ever since I was a child. Even if he's a Therian now, that hasn't changed.
So you knew you were helping a Therian escape. What are you plotting?
I have no plots or schemes. I just want Griffin to be free.
I guess we shouldn't be surprised. The Crown Prince and future king, he's gonna do whatever he likes.
I suppose I am at that. But if I am, it's the first time I've ever been allowed a choice of my own. When you're a prince, you're not a person. You're an institution, one designed to serve the state and its people. Say, for instance, you're doing your law studies and your back suddenly itches. What do?
I mean, I'd scratch it. Who wouldn't?
When I did that, my tutor gave me a whipping so hard the blood ran down my back. The reason being that I prioritized a personal feeling, that is to say my itch, over my studies in service of the state. Seeing Griffin lay claim to the skies let me imagine my own freedom. It was my lone solace over the years. But then, he turned out to be responsive to Innominat's power.
I take it the Midgand royal family is well aware that the Abbey's creating Therians.
Of course. How could we not? The kingdom offers unequivocal support to Shepherd Artorius' vision of reason and will. Even so, if there was one thing I could never permit, it was seeing Griffin locked up and unable to fly. Never. I tricked the Exorcist on guard and disabled the barrier. But then Griffin attacked the Exorcist and killed him.
That's why you said you could never go back.
They can overlook a single dead Exorcist, but with a Therian removed, malevolence will engulf the capital.
I knew full well what I was doing. And yet, I couldn't watch my friend's life be stripped away.
Your Highness.
He chose a single bird over the world. Why do you think that birds fly?
That's what Lord Artorius asked me.
My anatomy book says birds can fly because their bones are light and their wing muscles are enormously strong.
Birds fly because a bird that cannot fly is no bird at all. And that's what I think.
I understand now. As long as you remain on this island, you may do as you please. But if you try to escape, I'll kill you.
That should work. This way we'll have him on hand if we ever need a hostage.
Understood. I appreciate you letting Griffin and me stay here.
Well, now that that's taken care of, let's build ourselves a hideout.
Sweet, finally, my own man cave.
Hey, Velvet, do you know where Eleanor is?
Wasn't she just playing with you?
Yeah, but then she left. I'm worried because she looked pretty sad. Can you go find her?
Why me? All right, fine. Just don't cry on me, okay?
Shadow Stepper? Huh. Maybe she did something in the game. I don't know. Oh, that reminds me, I haven't updated my fucking, Hold on, I haven't done these in a while. Would any of these give me anything that I'd like? Up my crit rate. What one will give me the highest crit rate? 130... I mean, 318... Okay, let's go with this one. Decreases my magic, but who cares? She's not really magic. Alright, let's hit all the voice beats, and then after that, and after the cutscenes, and we get to our next save, that's when we'll end it. Next conversation I'll probably have will probably be about just RPGs.
Hey, Rokuro,
In general,
have
like
you seen Eleanor?
video game RPGs.
Probably. I don't know. Get drunk.
Just try not to go overboard.
But man, are we a bunch of screw-ups or what? I mean, we've kidnapped a prince now. They gotta have laws against that. Broke out of prison, flattened Hellebes, tried to assassinate a shepherd. Hey, how many infractions do you think we're on the hook for?
Pardon me if I don't stop and count. If you don't like it, nobody's forcing you to tag along.
No. Still haven't repaid my debt to you.
You say that, but you really just want to beat Shigure, don't you?
Whoa, to me they're both connected. It's a long story, but I can tell you if you...
I'll pass.
Well, join me for a drink then?
Can't. I'm 19.
Huh. I guess this universe has legal ages of 21 or something.
Interesting interpretation. What do you make of this part here, then?
Well, if you pronounce it Loney Kyle, then it'd mean midriff, which probably isn't right. Maybe Muse Mila?
Well, that would make this passage read, Oranges are nummy.
Okay. Yeah, that's not right either. What's wrong, Velvet?
Have you seen Eleanor?
No, I haven't. Sorry, I know I'm supposed to watch her.
Just read somewhere where there's more light. You'll hurt your eyes like this.
Okay.
Big sister Eleanor. Not Eleanor. Well, her too, but Velvet. Hey, you. Oh, wait.
Hey, you got any idea where Eleanor is?
No, sorry. I was having a meeting with Benwick and the crew about our search for Ifrid.
Are you sure you're okay with putting that off? At this point, the Abbey doesn't have much reason to keep him alive. Wouldn't you rather look for him than Therians?
I know time is a factor, but we still don't have any decent leads. I think we need to stir up the Abbey and see what shakes loose. And who better to do that than you?
So this works for both of us, then?
Never fear. I'm still acting out of self-interest. Besides, Ifrid won't die so easily.
He's a strong man. It'd take a lot to bring him down.
Yeah. I've never seen him flinch from a storm, no matter how choppy the seas.
Where angels fear to tread, as they say.
Probably some of that as well.
Okay, who's down here? Is it actually... Oh, no, it's Magilu. I should have figured it'd be you. Come on, talk.
Hey, any idea where Eleanor went?
How should I know? I'm too busy to spare any time worrying about anyone else.
You look pretty distinctly unoccupied to me right now.
Right. I'm busy being unoccupied.
You're... what?
It's simple. When you have free time, it means you're busy trying to avoid having any business to do.
You're too weird for this world, Magilu.
Says the woman with the world's blandest personality.
I always figured you'd be the type to take off as soon as things got hairy. So what keeps you here?
I am utterly, completely, totally, wholly devoid of anything else to do. Which is to say I'm...
Unoccupied.
Right, now you get it. Besides, I have to stick around to see how our bet turns out, don't I?
Fucking gambling addicted motherfucker. Alright, so Eleanor is somewhere in this place. Hideout, proper term. Okay. She ain't here. Oh wait, there's a. Oh wait, hold on. I can find her via this. Okay, so. Floor am I on? From floor 1. The North Watchtower. South Watchtower. Okay, I see where I gotta go. I don't want. I remember when I first did this, I just didn't check the map and kept wandering around like an idiot instead of, you know, just looking for the star on the fucking map that I've already filled out. Cause you're not smart, right, Cat? Double check which one is the. Okay, just go straight ahead. So I hope you enjoy the headquarters. It's not much. Everybody's dead except us, the pirates. Alright, Red. You wait. Oh, I gotta go up a set. Okay. I'll do it as soon as I get up here. Hey, Red, Yin. Oh, wait, you're not here. Damn it. There you are, Red.
There you are, Eleanor. Kamoana's worried about you.
You actually came looking for me?
Can't say no to a crying child.
Indeed. She may be a Therian now, but deep down, she's still a lonely little girl. That's something I've come to realize in traveling with you all. Wretched demons and Therians, even the Malakim who I'd only thought of as tools, they all live and think as humanly as the rest of us. I was so clueless. I didn't know what demon blight really was, nor what the Abbey was doing. Through it all, I knew nothing beyond blind belief in whatever I was taught.
Ignorance is bliss, as they say.
The coward's path is not that of an exorcist. They may say, I didn't know anything, so I can't be blamed. I can't live like that. I think I'll stay here a little longer to cool my head off. Please tell Kamoana I'm alright.
Don't stay out too long. The sea breeze can get cold.
Thank you.
Don't get the wrong idea. If you got sick or something, Kamoana and Laphicet would worry. That's all.
Welcome to Silent Hill.
I have something to say. There's something I've been hiding, until now. I've been acting undercover on a special mission for Lord Artorias. I was to watch over the Malik Laphicet and bring him to Abbey headquarters. So vital was the mission, I was to do whatever it took, even kill my fellow exorcists.
You were gonna take me to them.
I'm sorry for deceiving you, Laphicet. Originally, I was going to get you to lower your guard, then take you in. However, I no longer intend on following the Abbey's orders.
You're turning your back on Artorias?
No. I still believe in the sincerity of Lord Artorias. That the world he seeks is one that will benefit all humankind. But nevertheless, I simply cannot bring myself to condone the methods he has chosen to achieve that vision. So... I will help you protect the Therians, until I discover the answer I seek.
Eleanor!
I want to live a life that I don't have to be ashamed of. And to do that, I have to learn the truth for myself.
So, you live by your emotions after all.
Maybe you found your own creed.
Welcome to our wonderful world of wickedness.
Don't equate us! To act in opposition of one's feelings is to act opposed to reason.
You never make things simple, do you?
You should be glad I don't.
Yeah, after all, she's my vessel.
Yes, yes.
So, I think our next order of business is to find ourselves another Therian. Well, that's the extent of my insight. Anyone got any actual leads?
What if we had Eleanor swipe some intel on them from the Abbey? That could work.
I don't know.
It wouldn't work. Officially, the Abbey still considers her a traitor. So who would leak anything to her?
Yeah. Besides, we can't put Laphicet in danger like that. And anyway, Eleanor's terrible at being a spy.
Ungracious, but accurate.
You know that special underground cell from yesterday? I want to go back there. There's something I want to try out.
Alright, let's go.
Alright. Oh.
Laphicet, I must offer you an apology.
What for?
For spying. I was plotting to take you back to the Abbey. I am truly sorry.
It was your mission, wasn't it? Somehow I think I always knew.
You did?
Call it a hunch. Besides, Velvet was really suspicious of you. Whenever you feel you're doing something wrong, you start to sweat a lot. It seemed odd.
How long have you known?
Ever since you became a vessel for me. I think Velvet knew too.
That's quite a shock. I failed completely in my role as a spy. It's pathetic. Shameful, really.
Well, I think it says something good about you.
Huh?
Someone who can't lie well seems like a better person than someone who has an easy time of it.
Thank you, Laphicet. I think you're the better person here.
I wouldn't go that far. Hmm?
What are you doing here, Bienfu?
I was hoping you'd let me join in!
We're in the middle of something important. Please leave us be for now.
I'll be quiet. Just let me hang around, all right?
Afraid not.
Madam Eleanor is a sleepyhead! She's a what?
Laphicet, thank you. I hope we can stay friends.
I hope so too, Eleanor.
Hey, Bienfu, I have a question for you. I know Magilu likes to call herself a witch and all that, but what is she really?
The obvious guess would be that she's an exorcist. But I don't think I ever saw her name in the roster.
That's not surprising. She is indeed a bona fide dark witch. I should know. I saw one night just how scary she could be. It's enough to keep you awake at night. It was near the crater of a volcano. Above the bubbling magma sat a huge cauldron. Inside the cauldron, a blood-red liquid stickily simmered, boiling in the hellfire heat. When droplets splattered onto Miss Magilu's cheeks, she just cackled and licked it off, and she kept the cauldron boiling for 3 days and 3 nights. What was she making? Strawberry jam.
What's scary about that?
I was just getting to the scary part. Instead of using sugar, she put in soy sauce, cooking wine, and liquor. Soy sauce and strawberries? Is that normal? You wouldn't think so, but that contrast in sweetness, sourness, and saltiness actually makes it taste great. Not that someone like you would understand
heard of that. You can boil things in soy sauce and wine to preserve them. When you do it with strawberries, it's called strawberry soup.
That's right!
Actually, strawberry soup has sea urchin and abalone, not strawberries. It's just called that because the sea urchin plumps up like berries. And it's not preserved either.
Really? Well, I had no idea. Wow, I really liked it too. I wonder if the reason she's never made it for me again is because she realized the mix-up. Now that I think about it, that's not the only thing I like that she made one time. Like durian jellies and the candied sweet fish too.
I think I see what's going on here.
What does the food she's made more than once taste like?
It's just normal stuff, like what you guys always have. Only a truly scary witch could hide that much cooking talent behind such plain-tasting food with no one the wiser.
Okay, let me just set this real quick. After these, skits, I'm gonna save the game.
I know this smell.
Yeah, it's Prince Percival's fragrant wood perfume. When I told him I'd never smelled it before, he put a little on my sleeve to try it out.
I love the smell of the royal family's perfume. It's distinct, but not overpowering. It's made from Berseria trees, conifers that grow in a snowy land.
I've noticed that you and Velvet and Mogulu smell nice too. Do you all wear the same perfume?
We do? We don't use that stuff, but maybe you're smelling the soap we use.
Oh, can only the royal family wear fragrant wood?
No. Some fragrances, including the Berseria scented ones, only the royal family can use. But most don't have any such restriction.
If they all smell so good on humans, why doesn't everyone use them?
You know, I've never thought about that. Why do you think that is, Aizen?
It's a bit complicated. To explain it right, I'd have to start with the history of bathing in Midgand. A few hundred years ago, people believed they would die if they took a bath. They were so terrified of baths that they wouldn't even go near one.
I can't believe people would be scared of taking a bath. Why would that even happen?
Well, at the time, a deadly plague was running rampant, and people thought that it could be transmitted through bathwater. Bear in mind that this was all before we had proper plumbing or techniques to purify water. People couldn't just bathe anywhere. Sewers like the one we used to sneak through Logres are a fairly recent construction, only around a century old.
Some people even thought bathing at all was unhygienic.
Right. As bathing went out of style, the royal family started to use these fragrant woods.
Covering up their bad smell with a good one.
Yep. As a result, their perfumes used to be far more potent, to the point where you couldn't even tell if it smelled good anymore.
But nowadays, nobody actually believes that bathing can make you sick, right?
As civilization advanced, plumbing became widespread, and baths themselves became much cleaner fixtures than they used to be.
And the fragrant woods fell out of favor because they were no longer necessary, right?
To the contrary, as the people gained prosperity, the perfumes became a popular display of wealth. The newfound popularity didn't last long, however, thanks to the propagation of a new disease. One that didn't transmit through baths.
Demon blight, you mean?
With the rise of demon attacks, life outside the city walls became increasingly difficult. With fragrant woods now harder to come by, the perfumes once again became the domain of royalty.
I guess that means that fragrant woods share a long and complicated history with plagues.
To cover up the truth of malevolence, the powers that be spread rumors of a demon plague, continuing their time-honored tradition of covering up one stink with another.
So, what do you think of the perfume? Do you like it?
Yeah, it smells nice. But I think I like the smell of soap better.
Huh?
Oh god, another one.
This island is so amazing! It's far away from any other people and has so much hidden stuff underground! It's such a perfect hideout! Just thinking about it makes me so excited to be here!
Yeah, I guess.
What's wrong? You were so excited to be here before! Don't be such a drag, Lapuset!
It's just that this used to be a prison. People were brought here to suffer.
If you're worried about how I feel, don't be. If I really hated this place, I wouldn't have made it my base.
Hell, I was imprisoned here too, but now it's the secret fort I always dreamed of.
I
still haven't forgiven the guard who ate all those marron glacés I was sent.
I'll let the past be the past. What part of Secret Fort are you not getting?
Yeah.
But it can't all be just for fun and games here either. In order to maximize the success of our future battles, we need to maintain and improve this base going forward.
This place seems sturdy as it is. Does it really need more work put into it?
Nonsense. This place was built to specialize in holding prisoners. We can make it better suit our needs.
What are you proposing exactly?
Well, I think we need to start with smokescreen generators. They'll be effective against intruders unfamiliar with the layout here. Of course, afterwards we'll have to clean up all the soot, but still.
No thanks.
I think we need something to put out fires. The fire at Hellevie's was really scary.
We have Molecule like you who could use water arts, though. If anything happens, you can just put it out.
Oh yeah, I guess that's true.
What we really need are some secret underground tunnels. If things
Oh,
get
no.
too hairy here, we'll need an underground escape route. We can put in hidden doors, and even some fake ones to trick the enemy, too.
We have 2 separate docks. That's good enough.
No enemy is going to attack without taking both docks into consideration. That's why we need to build underground tunnels before anything else.
But we're on an island. You know, surrounded by water. Where would these tunnels even lead to?
Isn't it obvious? We'll dig underneath the sea to another uninhabited island nearby.
But there are no other islands nearby.
If it means getting my tunnels, I'll build an island too.
Oh my god.
To what you're saying?
It sounds like he's daydreaming to me.
And what's wrong with having some dreams? This is a great opportunity we have here. You guys just don't get it.
It's okay. I get where you're coming from, but they'll never understand. You might as well save your breath.
Y'all a bunch of morons. Alright, let me save the game and end the episode. I'm kind of glad I decided to make this call after all those skits. Alright, which one should I save? Save over this one. That one's pretty old. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed Tales of Berseria, and I'll see you next time. Have a good day.